Survive out in the wilderness, getting your Bear Grylls on with only your instincts and a bloody great spear to defend yourself with. Well, this opportunity may be coming sooner than you think in Medieval Dynasty New Settlement. So go ahead and hit them like and subscribe buttons, help me get to that 2k threshold before the end of September. And as a thank you, I've added my 25% referral code in the description part down below. So Medieval Dynasty is an open world hack slash build craft. It's got so much to this game you wouldn't believe, which has 3 different modes. A story mode that we'll come back to because that's the main mode, and then we have an open world where you can basically go out and do what you want and craft things without the worry of the story mode, and then there's online challenges. But let's go back to the mode that, well, I played mostly, which is the story mode. Admittedly, I've played these sort of games before, like Green Hell. That was an awesome game, you should get it if you don't already, but this is somewhat different. This is less horror, this is more almost relaxing and Bear Grylls-y. You're surviving to build a settlement, get to know the villagers, yes there are villagers, and do quests. And yes, there are many quests here, and some even unlock like skill points that you can use to, well, put up your skills in so that you can do other things. There are literally a shit ton of things that you can do in this game, and in VR it just feels so extra special. And when you get used to the handling of picking things up, which I have to admit didn't come naturally to me for some unknown reason, you have to kind of like point your fingers down at the objects rather than hold your hand out like a lot of other games. But once you get used to it, it does become second nature and sort of like just flows from then on. The story mode is okay, it's just a set of different things and quests that you have to take, mainly becoming friendly with the villagers and building up your surroundings to make a almost village. You actually get to employ different people if you can, and you get to farm and things like that as well. You do have to eat and drink, and basically you have an energy gauge as well, so you can't run infinitely. But when you take that first sip as you're wading through some water from your hand, it's actually pretty cool. Making meals and things like that is a bit complicated at first, and I didn't realise that it only lasts in the pot for a certain amount of time, and I didn't really know that I had to build a bowl to eat it from, and I lost my food, which was rather irritating. But it's not as a big of a learning curve as some games I played in this genre. Crafting is pretty cool and quite intuitive. You first start off by making tools so that you can build these things, collect different materials, as you would expect, wood, stone, blah blah blah, and put all these different structures and items together. What's also cool is the fact that you can find buried treasure, although you will need a spade for this, or shovel, depending on where you are in the world. Leave a comment on what you actually call that, as well as liking and subscribing this video to help me get to that 2k before the end of September. There is a buy and selling system that you can do within the actual village with different villagers, and this money is used to unlock different things like pottery recipes and all. I do love the fact that it is kind of open world and you're left so that you can actually decide what you want to do instead of following a set track. Although there are quests, as I mentioned before, you can kind of ignore them and just go out like I did several times and just build, gather and things like that, or hunt animals. Hunting animals is actually quite cool because you get to skin them afterwards. Probably not cool for the animal, but this is just a game, remember, so it's fair game. No pun intended. But do be careful when you go hunting, there's always a bigger fish. There is so much to do in this game, it'd be impossible for me to actually go through it all in this one video without going over like 10 minutes. And just before we get to that all important score, do hit those like and subscribe buttons and help me get to the 2k threshold by the end of September. Medieval Dynasty surprised the heck out of me. I really didn't think that the gathering would be so addictive, but it is. The crafting is fun and you get to mould clay into pottery and then put it in an oven and cook it until it's done. There's so many little things like that that really does outshine a lot of the other games in the same ilk. And that's why I'm going to give Medieval Dynasty New Settlement a well-deserved 8 out of 10.